So this is Dan from Slice Engineering.
So
this is Mosquito hot ends, and Dan, just give us the high-level walkthrough of what Mosquito does and why it's a great hot end.
All right. So basically, hot ends all about thermal management, right? Where the heat goes is important. So what we've done is we've separated the heat break from the structural component. So you can have a very thin heat break. So I don't know if the camera will pick this up, but you got a really thin tube there. And what that really thin tube does is minimizes conductive heat transfer from your hot section in the hot block up into the heat sink. So we've got about 15% the cross-sectional area of what a normal threaded heat break would have, which means we get 85% less heat transfer upwards. So what that gives you is a really sharp transition from solid plastic into liquid plastic, where it just kind of skips that glass transition temperature. What you'll find in a lot of hot ends is, if you've got a long retract, you're printing a big part and there's a big gap in it where you got to jump. When you retract, you're pulling on that wet noodle, right, of plastic filament. So we don't have that because our melt zone is so clearly defined. So we can jump over here to our thermal camera. So this is running live. We've got a FLIR thermal camera here. You can see we've got our hot block heater cartridge at about 180 degrees Celsius, and I can put my hand right on the heat sink because our thermal management is that good. So you can see right at the top of that bushing, right there, I don't know if that's going to show up in the video, but right at the top of that bushing, we drop about 130, 140 degrees Celsius in temperature, which is quite significant, right? Example print. This is one I'm really proud of. This is a 0.25 nozzle with PLA, with 0.4 retract, no supports, no post-processing, no stringing. You can barely even see the layers on that, and that's on a Craftbot, and the only modification it's got is put my own hot end on it. So, so that's us.
Excellent. So, to me? Okay. So replacement parts, and we kind of went over that, but some replacements are somewhat standard nowadays, 'cause for a lot of the hot ends and a lot of the different printer brands. What are you guys going to do about swapping out barrels and blocks and things like that?
Right. So we did design it to be super robust because we've separated that heat break from the structure. It's pretty robust, so we haven't had anybody break one yet. I'm sure somebody will try, and we will be selling replacement parts at some point. We don't have any in our catalog at this moment, but we're only 4 months off the ground, so this is actually only our second show. But we will have replacement parts coming soon.
So as machining and manufacturing gets easier for you guys, would you expect a price drop to get some more comparable towards like E3D?
Yeah, I would expect our price to drop eventually once we get some volume out there, because as you're saying, the fewer parts you manufacture, the more it costs per unit, obviously.
Sure.
But if you look at like a E3D V6, if you added all the upgrades that they offer, we're actually not that far off on price, maybe $10-15, and we're doing all our machining here in the States, so that's again part of the price. You're just going to pay more for U.S. quality machining than you would for some other country.
Okay, excellent. And so, with the heaters and the different temperatures, I can use whatever heater, whatever thermistor, anything I want. But is there one and a wattage that you recommend?
So I like printing with a 50-watt heater cartridge just because you can get, we've run this thing up to 500 degrees Celsius. So if you want to print your Ultims or other high temperature filaments, you're going to need a higher output heater cartridge. That's just the reality of it. So for doing that kind of stuff, I like a 50-watt heater cartridge. We've tested some 60s. We'll be coming out with a 60 at some point. But right now we've got a 50-watt that's pretty dang good. But if you're just printing PLA ABS, you can just run it off of the heater cartridge you already got.
Excellent. Well, that's good. This is Dan, Slice Engineering, Mosquito Hot Ends.
Dan, tell us where to find you on the web.
Yes.
Visit www.sliceengineering.com.
Excellent.
Thanks, Chris.